Hi, my name is Brainwave Alpha. Welcome to today's video. Have you ever wondered how to host your own website securely on AWS? Well, in today's video, I'm going to walk you step by step on how to host your static website on AWS using the EC2 instance. I'm also going to show you how to use HAProxy to protect your website using what we call reverse proxy. Finally, I'm also going to show you how to use Let's Encrypt to provide your website an SSL certificate so that when you have visitors to your website, they will always know your website is secure. By the end of this video, it is my hope that you will not only have your website live on AWS, but you also understand how to scale this website across multiple regions and keep it secure like a production-ready system. So stick around, guys. Let's roll up our sleeves and get started. Let's start with this diagram. On the left side, we see a forward proxy. Think of it as a middleman that sits in front of the client. Client being whoever wants to access your website, or it could be you. When the client wants to reach the internet, the request goes through the proxy first. And to add to that, this is common in most corporate networks, in schools, or even VPNs, where we would like to filter or monitor everything that is being browsed. So the key point for forward proxy is that it works on behalf of the client. We are trying to mask the real identity of the client. On the right side, we have a reverse proxy. And right now, for the reverse proxy, the situation is flipped. The proxy sits in front of the servers. We are trying to mask the IP of the servers within the website's content. So clients, they don't connect to the servers directly. They only ever see the proxy. The reverse proxy decides which backend server should handle the request and then forwards the response back to the client. So we can see that in this case, the proxy is working on behalf of the server. So just to give a brief recap, very brief, the forward proxy hides the client, but the reverse proxy hides the server. Very simple, right? Now let's look at our setup for the next image. This is the architecture we are going to work with today. In this architecture, we can see that the client could be someone visiting a website, like I said, browsing the internet. In this case, the person typed www.example.com. Instead of talking directly to the website, okay, the request first reaches the reverse proxy. And like I said, we will be using HAProxy. You could use Nginx, but we are using HAProxy. The proxy takes that request and forwards it to the website server. The website server is being run in a private network. As you can see, I placed it in the private subnet. The website server then sends the response back to the proxy, and the proxy finally delivers that response to the client. So we can see that there are several benefits. One benefit will be security, and we can see that the web server is never exposed directly to the outside world. It's the proxy that is being seen. We also have caching. If multiple clients request the same content, the proxy can serve it from memory instead of ordering the backend server every time. So we can say reverse proxy is also good for caching. And one of the other benefits will be load balancing. If we have multiple servers, for example, we have several servers in USA, in Germany, South Africa, and the likes, the proxy, in this case, if we have one proxy for multiple regions, so one proxy serving many regions, and these regions have many machines or servers, the proxy can distribute requests intelligently using some algorithms. I'm going to show you how round robin works so that no single server is overloaded and clients are often directed to the nearest server for speed. So the reverse proxy acts like a traffic controller in this case, and it actually decides where requests should go, and it also makes sure that clients always get fast and secure responses. Next, I'm going to take you on the labs, on how to, first of all, host your website on AWS on an EC2 instance, then show you how to use the reverse proxy. After that, I'm going to show you how to use your domain, link your IP address to your domain on Nginx, and then finally apply the SSL certificate we will get from Let's Encrypt. All right, I would not waste much of your time. Let's go. To begin, we first have to go create some network configurations. Before this, I have already created my VPC, subnet, route table, internet gateway, NACO or network access control list, and security groups. I'm just going to show you what I've created. So as you can see, I created a VPC called website VPC. This VPC has a CIDR of 192.168, like that. Okay, and my subnet, as you can see here, I've created two subnets. My subnet for website subnet and HAProxy subnet. This is just my preference. There are several ways you can run this project, but for me, I decided to run this with two different subnets, just for the sole purpose of the inbound traffic. I want them to be different, right? So for the HAProxy subnet, I have the CIDR configured to this 192.168.1.0 and /24, and for the website subnet, it's 192.168.0.0/24. Okay, so this is for the subnets. I have the route table for the website. This is a route table that routes the traffic from our subnet in or out of our particular VPC. Okay, and we have the internet gateway. Okay, and finally, which is the door to our VPC. We have the NACO, which is a network access control list. For the website, the inbound, right now I put inbound for SSH and HTTP, but because I'm going to begin this project from the scratch to show you how to get your website up and running, I'm going to just allow all traffic for now. Okay, so I'm going to add a new rule, okay, 103, to allow all traffic. I'm going to remove this later on. Okay, so I'm going to allow all traffic for now. Okay, that's for the website. So inbound has all traffic, outbound is all traffic good. How about the HAProxy NACO, the inbound? Okay, I have this. Okay, this is good. It's also nice. And let's go check security groups. Okay, So the security groups for the website, as we can see here, website inbound, it only has HTTP and SSH. For now, I'm going to also include all traffic because, like I said, I want to configure my server first, then later I'm going to close it up. Okay, so save changes for the website. And for the HAProxy, HAProxy actually has everything, right? It only has this piece, so I'm going to also get all traffic. Okay, save rules. All right, so we've configured our VPC and the other network configurations. Now it's time to go to our EC2 instance to create instance. Let's go there. So the first instance I'm going to create will be the instance for the website. Navigate to your EC2 on the dashboard, okay, and then click on instances. On the instance page, come to launch instances. Let's create the instance for the website. Okay, that's what I'm trying to do now. So launch instance. First things first, I'm going to write the name. So I'm going to just use very simple name website. That's going to be the name of my website server. Okay, I'm going to use Ubuntu, and I'm going to use T3 Micro. This is a fairly small website, so it doesn't really matter. Okay, it doesn't really matter for now. If you want to have a big website, you could choose a bigger instance type. But because I'm just using a static website, which is not so large, this is going to be okay. 2 vCPUs, virtual CPUs is okay. I already have some keys. You could create a new key pair. Okay, but since I already have this, I'm going to use that. I'm going to edit. So this is the website VPC, website subnet. I'm going to enable the auto assign public IP. I'm going to select the existing security group since I've created that already. And I'm going to use this. This is the default. Default is for the website. This is for HAProxy. I'm going to use default. Now that is done, I'm going to give it 8. We don't really need much. Okay, you're going to configure this as you like. Okay, for me, 8 is enough for my static website. After doing all of that, just a quick glance at my configurations, and I think it looks good. It looks good. And after that, launch. So once it's done, I'm simply going to try to create another instance for the HAProxy while this initializes. So let's go do that. Here I'm going to give it a name, HAProxy, so that I don't forget what it is. Okay. Next, I'm going to select the operating system. I like to use Ubuntu. After that, I'm going to see the instance type. Just as I used before, I'm going to use T3 Micro as well, because like we know, the proxy is just used to direct our traffic, right? It's used to direct our requests and get our response from the website. Okay, so we don't really need much. Here I'm still going to use the same key. And finally, I'm going to edit the network configuration. This is going to be website VPC. This is going to be HAProxy subnet, as we already know. I'm going to enable auto assign public IP, then select security group. The security group I'm going to select is HAProxy security group. And then finally, this is okay. 8 gig is okay for me. I'm going to launch. Now that has been launched, let's try to log into our website and launch our website. I'm going to refresh this first of all. Still in initializing. I think it should be done by now. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to go to my mobile Xterm and try to SSH into my server. Let's go. Now we are in the mobile Xterm. To SSH into your server, simply come to session, SSH, drop in your public IP, specify the username. I like to use Ubuntu. It could be any name. Come here to advanced SSH setting, use private key, search for your private key, and as you know, I used website key.pem. I'm going to use that. Click OK, accept, and just like that, we are inside the web server. How exciting! Next, we are going to update and upgrade our server by using the sudo apt update. Okay, we are going to update, and we are going to also sudo apt upgrade. Great, -y. All right, so it's updating and it's also going to upgrade. That's done. Now that's done, next we are going to clear the screen one more time, and we are going to install unzip and Nginx. So that's sudo apt install Nginx and Nginx -y, right? And sudo apt install unzip. And you're going to know why we are doing this in a second. Now that's done, the next step we are going to do will be to upload our website's content, which is the HTML, CSS, and other related documents or files. To do that, first we need to create a folder. This is just my preference, just so that we have it all organized. First of all, I like to create a folder, so I'm going to navigate to home. Okay, this is where we are, so that's in Ubuntu, right? We are in Ubuntu, that's home, Ubuntu, that's where we are, right? Yes. Now I'm going to create sudo make dir, I'm going to name it front end. Okay, now we should have a front end. Okay, we have a front end folder. Let's cd into front end. Okay, and now we are in front end. We can upload rather. Can upload the website. So this is the website I'm using. Okay, I'm bringing it over here, but it wouldn't work. It doesn't work because I haven't given full access to this website and to this folder. So if I'm going to go back, cd, and I'm going to sudo chmod 777. I'm giving that to front end, and now I have full access. So previously the access wasn't full. As we can see, for front end, we only have execute and read, and then execute. We need all to be there. So now we have it all the access. All right. Now that's done, we can cd into front end. Okay, and then we can also upload. Okay, can upload. This is what we are uploading, the zip file for our website. Okay, it's going to upload, take a few seconds, and there it is. Now that we have this folder here, next we are going to do is to unzip. We can unzip the folder. So we are going to say sudo unzip. And what are we unzipping? We are unzipping that folder. And there we have it. We have the unzipped folder there. This is it. Inside this folder, we have several folders and other type of files like the HTML files and stuff like that. Next, we are going to clean the var location, the var directory where we have our HTML where we are supposed to put our HTML files and folders. Okay, but before we do that, I would like us to go check out the website. Okay, let's go check out the website before we do that. The IP address. The IP address. What's the IP address? Let's go back to check it out. This IP address. Because we've installed Nginx, when we check this out, what do we see? We see welcome to Nginx, right? So we are going to clean up this place, and then we are going to put in all our HTML files in the location for this. And the location for this is simply here. cd var is over here. Okay, so this is the location. Okay, cd var, and it's here in www. Okay, to know where var is actually here. Okay, this is it, var. Okay, www, and var is in the same directory as home. Remember home and Ubuntu, right? This is where we stored our front end. Okay, so var is just in the same location as home. Okay, and then in the location for www, we want to clear everything here. So this particular file is what we are seeing over here on our website. Okay, and we don't want that. We don't want that. So how do we clean that up? Okay, let's go back. cd, okay, cd home. Okay, Ubuntu. So we are here. How do we do that? So we can say sudo, okay, rm remove, okay, recursively by force, remove everything in the location called var, okay, www html, okay, that's what we want to remove everything, okay, with this wildcard, and then we click enter. If you navigate back to cd var www html, if we navigate to this directory that we were, we can see there is nothing here anymore, right? So let's cd back into our home Ubuntu. Let's go back there. Now what do we want to do? We cd into front end, okay, and we want to copy everything that's inside here down to this location. Okay, down to this location. How do we do that? Sudo cp, okay, we are going to cp, we're going to copy everything that's in what? Template, okay, everything that's in template, and we are going to put it in var, okay, var what? www html. So this is what we are going to do. Okay, so I'm supposed to put negative rf or negative r, as the case may be, and hit enter. That has been done. So if we navigate to this location for var, what we should see there should be the files. These files, we should see these files over in this location. Let's go check it out. Yes, so now that these files are here and these folders are here, we can actually see our website. So if I refresh this page, we are not going to see this anymore. We are supposed to see a beautiful website. Voila, this is the static website, guys. I hope you can see it. Very exciting, right? Okay, now we don't want to access our website directly. We don't want to access this website directly. Okay, we don't want to use this, don't want to access this website directly. Okay, what we want to pass through a proxy for security. We want every access to our website to pass through a proxy for security. To do that, we need to go back to our EC2 instance and go work on our HAProxy server right now. Okay, that's what we have to do now. Okay, but before we do that, let us rename our cd. Yeah, before we do that, let us rename our server, our web server. We don't want to see our private IP. What we want to see is a name, right? Just for fun, right? Sudo sudo, what's that? Host name ctl, okay, set host name. Okay, what do we want to give it? We want to give it website. Okay, that's the name I want to give it, website. Hit enter. Okay, now next I'm going to do is sudo su dash ubuntu. Now we have a new name, right? That is how to change your host name. All right, so that's that for this. Next I'm going to do now, I'm going back to the EC2 instance. Okay, this is the EC2 instance over here. EC2 instance over here. And I'm going to try to log into the HAProxy web server. To do that, session SSH, put in the IP address for the public, use Ubuntu. Like I said, I like to use Ubuntu as the name. Advanced, use private key, and this. Next, I'm going to scroll down to my key. This is my key. Click OK and accept. And that way, I'm inside my server for HAProxy. So, like I did the first time, I'm also going to update and upgrade this server. So that's sudo apt update, okay, and sudo apt upgrade -y. Yes, let's do that first. All right, that's done. Now that that's done, let's clear the screen, okay, and then try to install HAProxy. To install HAProxy, we use the command sudo install HAProxy -y, okay, and then you click enter. So it says what? Yes, I forgot apt. Okay, after the installation of HAProxy, we want to configure our HAProxy to be able to point to the private IP address of our website server so that we can use the public IP address of our HAProxy server to visit that website. Okay, so what I'm just saying is, what we are trying to do now is we want to use the public IP address of this HAProxy server, okay, to visit the website, okay, using the private IP address, okay. And to do that, we need to use a particular line of code and to use it to configure the HAProxy. So let's go back to our HAProxy server, and navigate to the location for the HAProxy server. But just a side quest. Before we do that, let's try to change the name to HAProxy. So we do that by doing sudo host name ctl, okay, set host name, okay, and we want to use HAProxy as the host name, right? Now I want to navigate to the name, the host name. I will do sudo su, okay, and Ubuntu. Now we have HAProxy, but I actually want to go to the root user. I don't want to use Ubuntu, so I'm going to say sudo su. Okay, so now we are in the root. We are as root users now, right? Okay. Now let's navigate to the HAProxy. Okay, the HAProxy is actually found in etc. Okay, I'm just going to show you guys what etc is. Okay, so cd. I would have loved to show you. Okay, this is it. So etc is found here. This is etc. Okay, there's a lot of folders here. Navigate to, can I zoom in? Okay, I can't. Navigate to H. Where is H? I before I. So this is it, HAProxy, and this is the file we are trying to edit. or modify. So we are going there now. We are going to use this location. Okay, cd to that. Okay, so this is where we are going to. Actually, we want to go to the configuration file, this. So we are going to nano into HAProxy.cfg. Oh, sudo. So we don't have permission. So we're going to sudo into the HAProxy. Sudo. Oh, I didn't put nn. All right, so this is how the file looks like. And in the file, we are going to navigate to the end and place the command that I showed you guys in my documentation. If you haven't seen my documentation, I'm going to quickly show you now. So here you go. This is the command that we need to impute into the configuration. And as you can see, we have the configuration that tells the HAProxy that whenever we receive a HTTP request in the front end, okay, we just name that front end, okay, and then we should always bind it to a port number 80, okay, port number 80, okay, coming from port number 80. And so it means that we have to, let's go back to the diagram. So we have this HAProxy, and we have this subnet over here for our server, our website. And we are saying that when we have a request on port 80, okay, that request on port 80 should be forwarded to our backend, which is also going to be receiving that request on port 80. That is exactly what we are saying here. We are saying that we want to bind the front end, the request on port 80. As we can see, port 80 here, this is it, bind it, or request coming on port 80. Okay, and we should move it to where? The backend. Okay, the backend, we give it a name called website. It can be any name. Okay, now on that backend, okay, when we receive this thing into the request into the backend, okay, it's coming as HTTP, right? And we are saying that request should be pushed to what? The IP address, this private IP address. As you can see, that is the private IP address of our website. Okay, it's pushed to this private IP address using what port? Port 80. So, like I said in the beginning, while configuring our network, I made mention of trying to first of all leave all the network access control lists to allow all traffic for the inbound. But now that I'm done with fine-tuning, I can simply come here in the NACL and remove to only allow SSH and HTTP on port 80. Okay, save changes. That's for the website. I'm going to still leave the HAProxy as is. This is correct. I want SSH, HTTP, all. I want all for now. In some cases, it's not good to allow all, but in this case, I don't mind. Okay, next for the security groups and the website security group, what I'm going to do is going to remove this all. Okay, remove this all, and that's it. I'm going to leave HTTP and SSH. Okay, so now we have the inbound rule as this, and for the HAProxy inbound rule as this. Good. Let's go back to our file. We copy this command. Okay, come here to our HAProxy configuration file, okay, and paste or insert. So this is correct. Okay, next we save. Now, because we have done something to the configuration file of our HAProxy, we have to stop it and then start it one more time. Okay, to do that, we will say sudo systemctl stop HAProxy And then we are going to do this, but this time to start. But let's see the status just so that you know that it stopped. So as we can see, the status shows inactive. Okay. And to start, we can just come and see start HAProxy. Okay, and check the status one more time, and we can see it's active one more time. Okay, now that this has happened, let's also come back here to the public IP address of our HAProxy, right? Which is this. So let's try to use the public IP address of our HAProxy here. Okay. As we can see, it works, right? It works. This is the public IP address of our HAProxy. It works. This is the public IP address of our website. Okay, now let's try to remove the public IP address of our website since we don't want that to be exposed. To do that, we come over here to Actions. Okay, in Actions, we come over here to Network, then Manage IP Addresses. Over here, allow. Is this it? Yeah, over here. Then we remove the auto assign and then we save. Now we no longer have a public IP address for our website. We only have a private. Okay, so we can stop here. We can stop here with this public IP address of our HAProxy. Now what's happening is the traffic is going through the proxy, not coming directly to our website. Okay, so what can we do next? Now we can try to set up our record in our domain. Okay, we have a domain called eddyhills.site. Okay, we want to route the traffic coming through this IP address. Okay, instead of typing IP address, we want to simply use this domain name. How can we do that? Firstly, since we are using the public IP address of the HAProxy, we simply copy that public IP address, go to our domain registrar. In this case, I'm using Namecheap. Okay, and over here in the host record, I'm going to add new record, a record. In the host, I'm going to put @ and the value is going to be the IP address. Here I'm going to put 1 minute as the time to live and save changes. Next, I can simply copy this, okay, the domain name, create a C record for any other wildcard like www, any subdomains, okay, eddyhills.site, and use 1 minute time to live and save. So now that's done. What I can do now is to come over here and try that domain. Okay, let's try that in incognito mode as well. So in this, I'm going to do this. All right, it works. Okay, how about we try www. That also works, but I'm sure you've noticed that it is not secure. As you can see, the connection is not secure. Okay, it's not secure. Now the next thing we are going to do now is to secure our website. Okay, to secure your website, okay, what we need to do is to install Setbot. I'm going to show you how to do that next. Okay, so I'm going to clear the screen. Okay, and then I'm going to install Setbot. To do that, I'm simply going to do sudo apt install setbot -y. Okay, I'm going to hit enter. I'm going to close this server here. Okay, now I'm going to clear screen and I'm going to stop. So sudo systemctl stop HAProxy. I want to stop it. Now it has been stopped. Next I'm going to do is going to navigate to the SSL directory. which is also found in the etc. Okay, so I'm going to do cd. Okay, and if we check what we have here, we are supposed to see SSL. So this is where we are supposed to go to right now. Okay, so next I'm going to cd into SSL. Okay, clear screen. Check what we have. What we need to go to now is, what we're supposed to do next is we are supposed to use the command setbot, set only, standalone, and then the name of your domain. Okay, so this is my domain, and like I did, I only made use of this domain and this subdomain. In case I have several subdomains, I can make use of the wildcard asterisk and then .eddihughes.site, because we could have, as far as I know, we could have www.eddihughes.site. We could also have store.eddihughes.site, and so on, right? It could be a lot of subdomains, but in this case, I'm using only these two, so no need to go past that. I'm going to then click enter. I've been prompted to put in an email address, so I'm going to put that now, and I'm going to click enter, and yes, and it's going to request. What's going on? Why did this happen? Hold on, I'm going to just simply do this one more time. So it's saying failed to authenticate the domain. Okay, you can see I made use of 4 W's. So let's go clear that up and make use of the right W's. So we have 3 W's, and as we can see, it has successfully been certified. My domain has been certified, right? So the next thing I'm supposed to do, I'm supposed to cat. Let's look at the SSL folder. In the SSL folder, we can see we don't have anything unusual, right? All we have is the certificate, search, open SSL, private. Right now we want to generate something new. Okay, so to do that, we are going to generate the .pem, which is going to be the key for SSL. We are going to cat this full chain .pem. Okay, cat this. It was provided just now after the success of our SSL certificate issuing, and then we are going to cat into this. Okay, copy, paste. Okay, we are going to cut all of this into anything we want to name it. So in this case, I want to cut it into trusted search.pem. Okay, and I'm going to click enter, and just like that, we will have something new over here, trusted search. As you can see, it wasn't here before, but now we have it over here. Okay, we could nano into it, nano into trusted, and this is what we just did. We cut both of them into this place, and this is the key. So if you remember, our HAProxy was stopped, meaning it was inactive, or it has been inactive for a while now. Let's go check it out. So to do that, we do sudo systemctl status HAProxy, and as we can see, it's inactive, as we can see over here. Okay, next we are going to navigate into etc HAProxy. Okay, not necessary, but I like to do this. And if we list the files there, we can see the configuration file for HAProxy. Okay, and the next thing we are supposed to do, we are supposed to nano into the HAProxy configuration file using that command, and change this command to a new command. The new command we're changing it to will be this. Okay, so what does this say? This command simply says, okay, for every HTTP request, okay, bound that request to port 80, okay, because as we know, HTTP is actually on port 80, right? And then we want that request coming on port 80, which is the HTTP, to be redirected to a new port called HTTPS, okay? Now we are trying to define the new port HTTPS, okay? So anything coming through HTTP, the port that we have tried to redirect it to, right? As you can see, okay? So we want that is coming through HTTPS, we want to bind it to a port 443, okay? It is binded to a port 443. And on that port 443, please, I want you to expose that particular SSL certificate that I just got. What is the name? We called it trusted what? Trusted cert, right? If you guys can remember, it was called trustedcert.pem. Okay, so please, I want you to expose that certificate on this port 443. Okay, and then please, I want you to also, when you expose it, make sure that the website in the back end is also exposed. Okay, and the back end, the private IP, don't forget, this is a private IP for our website. Copy, and we're going to put it here. And our website is exposed on port 80, which is the HTTP port. Okay, so this is what we need to copy. Okay, we copy this, and we come over here to clear screen up to the front end over there. And paste. Okay, that's good. So just to check my work, if there is no excess space, because this is really sensitive to space. Okay, that's it. So I think everything looks nice. Next, I'm going to exit, save it. Now it has been saved. Now let us restart or start our HAProxy. To do that, we are going to use the command sudo systemctl start. Okay, start HAProxy. Okay, now to check the status, let's check it one more time to see that it has started. All right, so our HAProxy is active. The next thing to do now is to check our website. Now it shows that it is not secure. Let's refresh. Let's refresh. Wow, just like magic, guys. Just like magic. Did you see that? Exactly. It is now secure. Can we see? It is now secure. Secure by who? Let's Encrypt. Okay, we can see it is secured by Let's Encrypt. And the website is eddyhills.site. Okay, so this is a simple demo using just one reverse proxy and one website server. What if you have several servers in several locations? That's also easy to do. I'm not going to show you the full process, but I'm just going to give you an idea of what to do. In your free time, you can try this out. So what I expect you to do is to use the same idea front end. Okay, so for example, we have a particular reverse proxy server in a location, probably in Central Africa, or probably we have it in Europe or in Asia. Okay, wherever the proxy wants to be, we don't care about that right now. We want to use a single global proxy. Okay, and the idea here is that we want to use that proxy to access content of a particular website. We want everyone coming into our website to always use that proxy. Okay, so that our website content is shielded or secured from DDoS attacks or any type of attack, right? So the idea is we have several servers scattered in the US, in Germany, in France, in South Africa. And these servers, they host our website, just as we've done here. Okay, good. Now, the same idea applies. We do the same redirecting of any HTTP request. Okay, we redirect it to HTTPS using the same port configuration we did, 443, citing the same .pem which we did for that particular HAProxy. Okay, so in this case is what? Trusted what? Cert. Trusted cert.pem. And then we want to forward also the back end, every content that is in the back end, which is our website, we want it to be forwarded so that whenever we have a request, okay, for a particular content, let's say someone in the US wants to see our website, instead of using the server in Germany, okay, our proxy will actually show the people in the US the content which is stored in the US server, okay? And we are using a particular algorithm, okay, called round robin, okay? There are several other types we could also use. We could use listcon or source, okay? There are several other types of algorithms for load balancing. Okay, so this is just a kind of take home gift. You could also do some more research on this particular topic. Okay guys, so that's it. What we've done today is to host a simple static website on AWS EC2. We also protect it using a HAProxy. The technique we use is the reverse proxy. And finally, we secured it using SSL certificates, okay, using Let's Encrypt. Now that you not only have a working website, but you also understand the role of proxies, SSL, TLS, and even how to scale with load balancing, I would really appreciate if you could like this video, subscribe for more cloud and DevOps tutorials. I would also appreciate a comment, okay? If you try this setup yourself and if you'd like me to cover advanced topics, I would really appreciate if you leave a comment and also share as well. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Stay curious.